Hello, I'm Vara,
And I'm Roxy.
and you're listening to VCR. Hey, Roxy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm surviving, being the best
Same.
survivor I
Surviving. Feel
can.
like Reba. I'm a survivor.
Survivor. Speaking of survivors, that will bring us into our next topic here. So, every movie out there, action movie, fantasy movie, dream movie, whatever, they all have something in common, and that is they have a villain. And people survive the villain. At least you hope they do. So
Sure. Somehow.
today's topic, we're going to be talking about some of the best villains out there, like movie villains and such. Like, who are some of the best villains out there? Roxy, where would you like to start? Do you want to do a little sci-fi, a little thriller, or you want to jump into the world of Disney? Like, what kind of villains? Do you want to do some horror villains?
Yes.
Okay, horror villains it is. Let's start with Roxy's favorite, and then maybe drop into her next. We will drop into Mr. Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
So, what is it? I mean, you gotta admit he's a unique villain. You know,
Yes.
his the way you deal with him isn't normal. It's not like you get to deal with him in real life. You have to do this dream kind of state situation. So it's kind of an interesting villain or thing that they've created for him. But you would know better than me. How do they really finish it off? My understanding is they had to keep telling the story, which keeps them trapped type of
hmm
situation. Is that it? Like,
You know, I want to say yes, but it's been so long. I don't know. But yeah, I think so.
okay, I can remember something like they have to keep telling the story that keeps them trapped. And I was like, okay, that's kind of an interesting one. But then again, he's also not the type of villain you deal with on a regular basis either.
No.
So it's a very unique kind of villain. Unlike, you have, well, no, another unique villain. Let's jump into it. Your favorite too, your second favorite, Mr. Art the Clown there. So we're still learning more about Art.
I think him and Freddie are like battling for my favorites right now.
They
Like,
are. They
I
probably are. So Art the Clown comes from the series Terrifier, if you're not
Yes.
familiar with it.
He's originally from All Hallows Eve, but he was actually first created from the Ninth Circle.
There you go. So as far as we know, because you didn't get this information in the first two movies, it kind of comes out a little later. You have Art the Clown, who is apparently some type of demon clown of some sort.
hmm
And that's all they really have told you because you don't get a whole lot from him. There's not a whole lot on his backstory. We have more stories on like who the heroes are and stuff like
hmm
that. But we don't have a whole lot of information on Art himself, which makes him an appealing kind of bad guy because you don't know what you're dealing with when it comes to this, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. At first, you're like, "Is this like a serial killer? Like, what's wrong with this guy?"
No, seriously, at first, I think when me and you first saw it, we are like, this is a serial killer. But then it got a little too weird to where he
Yeah,
can't
he's
just be
like
like a
a
regular serial killer.
supernatural, like some kind of like demon or something.
Yes, he's definitely a demon clown of some sort that we got to look more into. And I'm hoping like with the next installment, we'll definitely get way more information. But he's been
Yeah.
a really, and it really isn't, we don't really know what he wants either. Then we do know that he wants the girl. The girl
Oh,
who,
yes, yes.
yes.
Because in the last one, not the last one, not the Christmas one, but the one before that,
Mhm.
didn't wasn't they were showing scenes where like her dad like drew her as the superhero or whatever, like she was
Yes,
supposed to save them from him or something like that.
she has the ability to save everyone from him and to destroy him. So, but that's all we know is like she has the ability, and this is what makes him interested in her.
hmm
But other than that, we don't have like really any other information on Art the Clown. It's been very
They
vague
said he likes
lately.
killing people
He
in the most
does. He
horrific ways,
does. I
and
love
he
the
thinks it's
80s.
funny.
he does, which is kind of messed up. I love the 80s throwback they do with this series too. It's
Hmm.
really been great. Um,
It is. And
okay,
every
so
time we talk about him, I just have to think, I can't help but think about the mashed potato scene.
oh God, yeah, that's something. If you all haven't seen that, y'all need to check that out.
I,
Um, that
like
really
it's
was something else.
gross, but funny at this. And I don't know how gore became funny to me, but it did in that movie.
No,
I don't know.
seriously, it
And it's
was
funny coming from a person who doesn't like gore or
yeah.
gory movies. I love that movie.
That was it really has been a great movie. I think me and Roxy first I first came out during the plague. And
Yeah,
so that's when me and Roxy first experienced Art the Clown there, which was just totally mind-blowing. It really was. Uh we're the only two laughing in the theater, so everyone was kind
really.
of like
Everybody else is
like
horrified, and we're over there.
like ha ha ha. And it was great. It was really great. So I'm gonna change the script a little bit because we have these two villains who they're supernatural and all that. So I'm gonna change it a little bit to one who I feel a little bit more sympathetic to, and that is Frankenstein,
Oh, yes.
or who we call Frankenstein.
Yeah, his name isn't actually Frankenstein. His name is
No,
Monster or something.
it's just the creature or the
Frankenstein was
monster.
the doctor.
Right. Frankenstein's the doctor. They never gave him a name, so it's the creature or the monster. They never gave him a name, which is also sad in itself. But Frankenstein or the creature itself, it's not his fault, is the issue. Like he was created in a lab,
Mm-hmm.
and what ends up happening, dead tissue animation type of situation. And so he's kind of like he's born into the world or reborn into the world as this creature, and he's trying to have the human experience because he doesn't know any better. So he's growing and developing, and I don't want to say unhinged, but he doesn't have skills. Let's call it skills. And so he ends up in these situations where he's trying to get close to his creator, Dr. Frankenstein, because that's his father. But, he's trying to get close, but of course, the creator, his father there, keeps running away from him. And so he's trying to mimic the life that his that he sees with his dad because I think he saw something like, and this is what where it kind of gets a little weird in Frankenstein. He's trying to mimic some things, like I think he sees Dr. Frankenstein making love to his wife for the first time. And so he tries to mimic that, and when he mimics that, it's basically what we'd call an assault
Yeah.
nowadays. But he's trying to live these experiences while hunting down his dad at that. And it was also a great book in the sense of like it really was kind of also done with the message of this is what happens when you play God. You do things and it kind of gets really fucked up. And
Right.
you can almost see you can make a case for that almost with AI nowadays. So, but Frankenstein's one of these creatures where he has done bad things, but you kind of feel a little sympathetic for him because it's not his fault. It's him seeking his creator who has abandoned him, and he's left to live this life where he's figuring it out on his own. And it's kind of a terrible situation if you think about it.
Yeah.
Poor Frankenstein or the monster. Um, and it really is kind of an interesting situation. So, the creature is someone that I kind of have always had sympathy for. Uh,
Yeah.
and I get it, everyone wants to destroy him and kill him, but I've always had sympathy for him because
It's
of
not
this
his
situation.
fault.
It
He's the
really
one.
isn't. It really isn't. Unlike other horror monsters of that genre, where you're looking at Dracula. I know a lot of people love Dracula, but he's a bit of a prick,
A
just
little,
a little bit,
a little,
you know.
a little,
Mhm.
what is that? Presumptuous, I guess.
Yeah, he's a bit of a jerk there, but
Yeah.
Dracula. Well, but although one of my favorite villains has been Dracula, but the Bela Lugosi Dracula, the cape and the black tux. That's always
My
been one
favorite
of my
one is the
favorites.
Count on Sesame Street.
Oh yes, yes. How can you not love the
No.
Count? One of the best villains ever. So, are there any other horror villains that you kind of like or jump out at you?
Oh, I mean, the usual suspects, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, the usuals.
Also, arguments that it's not really their fault either. Michael
Yes.
Myers, not necessarily his fault. He was abandoned in an asylum, all this other stuff. He just wants to be close to his family, and then it gets really weird. But
And same
uh,
thing with Jason. Like he was, born
drowned by
deformed
camp
and
callants.
mistreated and neglected and
Well, no, actually, he wasn't it that he was a regular boy and he drowned, right? So now he's back to wipe
oh,
out
maybe.
the.
I
Yeah,
thought he
no,
was born deformed.
no, the
Maybe
deformity
I'm thinking
comes.
about another movie.
No, no, you're kind of right. So when he pops up out of the lake like years later in a dream sequence, he looks deformed, but it's supposed to be like he's been down there too long, so he's not really supposed to be deformed. The truth is he was just a regular kid. The camp counselors were out making out. He drowned in the lake. And so really in the first one, it's the mom who's the bad guy because she's come
Hmm.
back to get vengeance on the camp counselors. And then it becomes this manifestation of Jason, who is apparently still angry about drowning because the camp
I
counselor.
mean, I think I would be too.
I know, but you should just really go after the original camp counselors, not everyone else. That's kind of a
Nah, I'm
jerk,
mad. Fuck it. Everybody's
that's
dying.
kind of a jerk move, but that's just me. But moving on, let's jump into something else exciting. Thrillers or Disney?
Disney. Disney,
Thrillers.
Disney.
Disney. Okay, so Disney. Okay, I'm gonna ask you in general, who's your favorite Disney villain?
Ursula.
Ursula. Okay, what makes her so appealing to you?
I just like her character. Like her, she's like, and what she say? Everybody knows the language of body
Body
language.
language.
Like I
Yeah.
love her.
Oh my God. Yeah, she is something else. And she is unique, being a sea witch and everything. Based on Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid, was really, really kind of, she is very memorable. Like she really did
Mhm.
hit that one of the more memorable villains in Disney. And really, if you think
For
about it,
and also for being a like plus size, I guess, because she's an octopus or whatever. But
right,
she was very like, voluptuous, very body positive. It was very like,
very
yeah.
curvy and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. She was something else. I want to say one of my favorites was Captain Hook. Don't the
Hmm.
he was just one of my favorites. The original Disney Peter Pan, Captain Hook was just one of my favorites for some reason. I don't know if it was because like even though for a pirate he was pretty debonair, but he was really
Hmm.
angry. It was all about the vengeance for Hook. He really wanted.
He wanted his damn hand back.
Yeah, he really did. So
And again, it wasn't their fault. They were misunderstood and he wanted his hand back.
yeah, no, well, actually, it was Pan's fault. Pan did cut off his hand and then feed it to the
Yeah.
crocodile. So, had he have just not been messing with Hook, it probably would have been fine. So it's like one of those things. So yeah, what can you say? But Pan in itself is a jerk. And then there's been, sometimes you kind of wonder who's the real villain. Is it Pan or is it Hook? Because if you a lot more um like more nowadays kind of exploring Pan, you know,
Pan
the
was the villain. He was kidnapping kids.
he was kidnapping kids, but also it was said that, like, I know in various versions, like all the food that they eat, and they're like, use your imagination, but and there's references to that in the book. So it was questioned if Pan was starving the Lost Boys too for not doing the
Mhm.
things that they were supposed to
So
do. So I was like,
I heard a
interesting.
theory that Captain Hook was one of the kids that escaped. And he was always going after Pan, trying to rescue the kids. And
I've
that's why
heard
they let
that
them
reverse kind
fight.
of, yeah,
And
I've
I was
heard that
like,
kind of thing.
that's a crazy theory. I like it.
That I love fan theories. Sometimes they're like some of
I
the
love it.
best. Sometimes they're better than the actual story. But yeah, Hook and Pan, and it makes you question Pan a bit. Like, is he really the good guy? Kind of makes it think. I think one of my other favorite Disney villains is going to be Shere Khan from the Jungle Book. I
Hmm.
I love
I love
there's
him. He's very, yeah, that's very you. Like,
he's very suave, very
yeah.
like, I have no time for this right now. I
Right.
need to go ahead and kill this human.
Like I said, it's very you.
Yes, I love Shere Khan, and the fact that Khan the snake was also involved with it, but really the one who kind of jumps up out of it is Shere Khan. He's the one who
Mhm.
stands out, and he's the one that you really have to mess with. The snake is kind of cunning, but the one who they're all really worried about is Shere Khan, which I think is just incredible. I don't know that there's something very suave that was very captivating about Shere Khan that I just absolutely loved. More so than the snake. The snake was okay, but Shere Khan was
Yeah.
my favorite. Um,
We can't forget about Cruella.
oh no, God, she's been a
I
staple.
might, you know what? I might have to say she might actually be my favorite.
Really, Cruella.
Strong, independent woman.
Hmm.
Are you crazy? Yeah, love her. When
There's
she was
been
like, "Oh, I'm pregnant," she's like, "Sorry." Why would you do that? Like that's
uh,
very mean. It's very mean coded. The only thing
um,
is I'm not killing dogs. Like I'm not doing that.
no, seriously. And like
I'd
so,
probably have them and take care of them.
right?
But I wouldn't be trying to make coats out of them.
So the one that I'm trying to find out is, so back in 1977, there was a Disney movie called The Rescuers,
I love that movie.
and there was a female villain in there. I think it was Miss Bianca,
Hmm.
who is like almost a to me, if you ask me, she's kind of like almost a precursor to Cruella de Vil. And she was just really good. She kidnapped that little girl and everything. And um it was one of the best Disney movies, I think. But she herself, with her henchman, I think Bernard, was no, wait a minute, Bernard was the good guy. But it was just like I think she's forgotten a lot as a villain. A lot of people don't think about her. And actually, I'm thinking I got that wrong too. Miss Bianca was the other good mouse. I'm trying to remember who the bad one was. Uh, hang on, I gotta find it because it's driving me nuts. Um, cast characters. Here we are. Who are the bad guys? Madame Medusa, that
Madame
was it.
Medusa, yes,
Madame Medusa,
yes.
who was the bad guy in that. And a lot of people kind of overlook that. So that's also so there are like the lesser known ones too.
Yes.
That people should kind of look out for here and there because they do bring something to it. They really do.
Hmm.
Um, anyone else in Disney that kind of rings your bell?
The what?
Anyone else in Disney who kind of rings your bell?
I'm Maleficent. Can't
Oh
have
yeah.
can't talk about Disney villains without mentioning Maleficent.
That's just
I
so
mean,
very
I want
true.
a magic mirror on the wall.
Yeah, that. No,
Was
wait a minute. I'm confused. Wasn't that Snow White, the evil queen?
it?
Yes, Snow.
Oh, that is.
Maleficent is Cinderella. Yeah.
No, she's not. Cinderella is not Maleficent.
I mean, Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty. That's it. Sleeping Beauty. We were all wrong.
No?
Don't get all mad at me. We're all wrong.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It is.
Yes,
Because
Sleeping
I'm
Beauty is
picturing the
Maleficent.
old lady and I'm like, oh, yeah, she does turn into
That is Snow White. Yeah.
Snow White. Yeah,
Yeah,
hold
so
on.
that's that. But no, seriously, so Disney has some of the best evil characters type of thing. But if you want to look at like Who kind of has some of the best evil villains?
It's the Evil Queen. That she doesn't even have a name. Her name is the
No,
Evil Queen.
just Evil
But
Queen.
Maleficent is the one I like, yeah, from
Right.
Sleeping Beauty, yes.
I'm gonna flip.
But she also was misunderstood.
Yes. Depending on which storyline you go with, yes.
No,
Uh,
yeah.
but I'm gonna flip the script to Batman, but a very specific Batman, Batman the animated series, because Batman has one of the best villain lineups.
Oh yeah, that lineup is
I mean,
great.
like his villain, the Joker, the Penguin, Catwoman, Riddler. He
Hmm.
has one of the best villain lineups, and
And
even
each one
Harley.
of those villains is so recognizable. Like,
Oh yeah, like you cannot look at Batman. Like even his lesser criminal villains like the Alligator, Clayface, Harvey Dent, they're
the Two-Face.
Two-Face, yeah. Well, there's also another one called Clayface. They got these guys, they're a lot lesser known, but they're still some of the best villains out there. I will say this. Here's something that I found really interesting. I discovered this today. Harley Quinn was not originally part of the original Batman.
Poison Ivy.
Well, yes, Poison Ivy is great too. But Harley Quinn herself was not part of the original Batman lineup for villains. Harley
Mm.
Quinn was inspired by Batman the animated series. And it became so popular on the animated series that DC put her into the lineup. Batman the animated series was so influential that it actually influenced the source material instead of the other way around. So Harley Quinn was one of these things that she pops up in the animated series, and it became so popular that they had to, write her into the DC lineup for Batman, and it was
Mm.
just like pretty spectacular. So I have to admit that's pretty
I'm
impressive.
glad they added her.
Yeah, Harley Quinn's also a unique character too for a bad guy because really the whole reason she gets into this is because Joker has mentally brainwashed her. Like he has,
Yeah.
broken her, and so this is where
Because she
that
started
comes
out as his
as a
counselor, his
therapist.
psychologist.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joker got into her head and it became this whole other situation. So that's been kind of interesting. And then but Penguin, Joker, I think we all pretty much know their stories and their lineups. Catwoman, but Batman has
Oh yeah.
one of the best. I mean, you can even say like you look at Superman, he has some bad guys. His main bad guy is Lex Luthor, but you're hard pressed to think about all the others. It's like, oh, Superman and Lex. Okay. Anyone else? Not really.
Yeah, like
It's
I was
always
even trying like Spider-Man. I'm like, I know he's got some villains, but I can't off
he
the top of my
does.
head can't think of them.
Spider-Man has, of course, Doc Ock, and then you also have, well, Black Cat, who I think is just a bite off of Catwoman,
Yeah.
isn't she's a bad guy, but I'm not gonna say she's really, really a bad guy. Um, then you also have the oh, what's his name? I can't Sandman, and he's just capable of turning into sand type of situation. But again, Batman has probably the best villain lineup. Even whether it's Marvel or DC, Batman has the best lineup. Uh, that's just my opinion. And so we'll look at thrillers really quick,
Thriller and Manila.
right? So one of my favorite thrillers and the best thriller villain, if you ask me, Hannibal Lecter,
Mm.
Hannibal the Cannibal. One of the best, I think. What about you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like him.
He is great. Like that's the kind
Liver
of
and some fava beans.
exactly. Like you remember this, and then the story lineup, whether it's Red Dragon, Hannibal, Silence of the Lambs, he's magnificent and all that, and it's The weird thing is he has his hand in every storyline, even when it was Red Dragon and he was incarcerated, he was influencing the guy. And I was like,
Hmm.
he's just so maniacal and so calculating in everything that he's doing that it becomes this really powerful villain that's just like and I think the kind of cool thing about it is he doesn't really have one person he squares up with. You know, his the people that he challenges has been different in every storyline except for two of them. So I think it's one of those things where it's like he's just a villain for everybody, across the board. But
Yeah.
that's my opinion. Do you got a thriller one that you like? Not really.
Powerpuff Girls, Mojo Jojo.
Mojo. Okay. He would do. He will do. That's a good one to end it on. So Mojo Jojo is our ending villain here. So if you have a villain that you really like and really enjoy, it has always been kind of like, oh my God, this guy is probably one of the best villains in this series or in this movie. Let us know who is
Yeah.
it. Send it to us to the VCR show at gmail.com and hit up all of our social medias, which is just the VCR show and our website, thevcrshow.com. And if you want to talk villains with Roxy, you can on her social medias, which are.
On Facebook at Roxy Perez Carvey Model, on Instagram at PopRocks428, and on TikTok at The Pop Rocks. And Pop Rocks is spelled POPROXX.
And as always, I'm Vara.
And I'm Roxy.
And you've been listening to VCR.
See ya.
Bye. You have been listening to VCR, creative content by Richard Christopher Vara and Roxy Perez. Logo by Richard Christopher Vara with assistance from Annie Ramirez. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach us at thevcrshow@gmail.com or our social medias at Instagram and Twitter at The VCR Show. And you can also check out our content at thevcrshow.com. The show song is Addict by Nefex, instrumental, and you can find them on YouTube Music Library.